What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet, and it's time to recap my favorite games of 2015. Now, let me go ahead and say that these are the best games for me this year. Okay, you might have completely different expectations and have completely different choices. There are some games that just don't fit my playstyle. There's some games I didn't even get a chance to play no matter how good they were. I will probably be doing other lists on my gameplay channel as well, and I'm going to list that here, and here, and here, and down below in the description box. Check out my gaming channel if you want to see more lists. Number 15. Starting off the list is Mad Max, and I have to say, I know this one's going to be controversial. The first thing I'll say about it is, it's a great budget title, and if you can pick it up sometime in 2016 for a very cheap price, I highly recommend that you do so, because it's going to be hard to not get $20 or $30 worth of value out of this game. The combat is derivative, the graphics aren't particularly great, it did have some bugs on the PC build, but what made this game unique were the characters in the game, specifically Chum, who I absolutely loved more than anything else. The story was interesting, and I didn't really feel compelled to do any of the side quests or side missions or all the side upgrades, and I definitely did not feel like I needed to get the DLC. Overall, I think this is a great budget title, just for the weird car physics, just for the weird card combat, and just to introduce you to my favorite character of 2015, probably, maybe, Chum Bucket.
Number 14.
Next on the list is Heroes of the Storm, and I gotta tell you something, I know a lot of people are gonna complain about this. First off, if you've never played a MOBA, this is a great place to start. If you have played a MOBA before and decided you hated them, this is a great alternative I think that you might really enjoy, especially if you're a fan of the Blizzard universe. If you are religiously addicted to League or Dota or Smite or something like that, this game is probably definitely not for you, but I am exhausted of those games and I was looking for a variety of gameplay, and this brought variety to the table again. And I gotta tell you, I still haven't uninstalled this, I still play it all the time, even though I don't stream it very often or make gameplay videos out of it. It's a game that I keep coming back to over and over again because of what an alternative feel it has to the MOBA genre without straying so far away that it's a completely different game.
Lucky number 13.
Speaking of controversial, I put Disney Infinity 3.0 on my list. Now let me say right off the bat, this is not a game I can easily recommend because the cost of entry is absurd, the business model is stupid, it's very, very expensive. However, I put about 40 hours into this game, and I would not have been true to myself if I was not honest and told you that here. And as far as Star Wars games go, this is the best Star Wars game of the year. Now, it's very, very short, the stuff that you get for the price that you pay, but overall, it's true to the universe. The characters are super fun to play in the campaigns. They're even more fun to take into the toy box. Overall, I really feel they kind of knocked it out of the park with 3.0, and I had a blast with it.
Number 12.
Now, I know I'm showing my casual roots here, but I absolutely adore party games. If you know me at all, you know we have a party at my house about every week. We have about 10 or 15 people over, we play board games, and we draft cube, and we do all kinds of stuff, and I'm always looking for party games and multiplayer games for us to play together. Rock Band 4 was a game that got me very excited, mostly in part because they allowed me to port in all of my DLC from my Xbox 360 over to my Xbox One. And whereas the game did not make a bunch of huge strides, and the on-disc songs were absolutely disgustingly bad with the exception of 3 or 4 songs, overall, we've enjoyed the hell out of this product, playing it pretty much every weekend since it came out. And I had to put it on the list because it is one of my most played and one of my most enjoyed games of the year.
Number 11.
So Ori and the Blind Forest was sold to me as this super emotional game, right? And it definitely started out that way. However, that's not what kept me playing the game. What kept me playing was the unique art style, because the game looked very different from pretty much any other game, and the unique gameplay. Now, unique is a weird way to describe it because it was definitely derivative in a lot of ways of Metroid, but it had its own spin with the save system, it had its own spin with the itemization system, and overall, it was unique enough to where I felt like I really had to play it.
Numero 10.
When I purchased Until Dawn, I thought I was going to despise this game. But me and my friends have an agreement that whenever a scary game comes out, we will play it all together in one room just to see each other's reactions. And we decided to stream this one, and I figured if it would entertain you guys, I may as well pick it up. Well, I'm really glad I did, because about 30 minutes into the game, I hated it. I hated every character, I hated the gameplay style, I hated everything about it. About an hour in, though, I had really become gripped, and we played through the entire game in one sitting. I think it took about 6 hours of gameplay, so the game was very, very short, but it was absurdly enjoyable. It's easily a game that I can recommend somebody pick up as a budget title.
Number 9.
So a lot of people who watched me stream this game are going to be very surprised that it made the list. Because number 1, I did not complete this game, and number 2, I am terrible at it. And after quitting this game out of rage and frustration, realizing that it's just not the type of game that I can deal with because of how punishing it is, I have watched this game, I watched it get played, I've watched it get beaten, I've studied the lore, I've enjoyed the world, and I've thought about this game off and on ever since it ever came out. It is without a doubt one of the best games of the year, and even though it's not exactly for me, I had to put it on the list because it's amazing.
Number 8 is probably great.
I grew up on Mortal Kombat, so it should be no surprise that the latest and greatest Mortal Kombat is on this list. I will tell you, though, Ed Boon, that it almost didn't make the list because of the way they monetized it. Those microtransactions, those instant fatality tokens, those stupid skip fight tokens, the buy your way through the crypt, all of that almost turned me off of what turned out to be a fantastic game. You can ultimately ignore all of that stuff, and I absolutely did, even though it is shoved a bit into your face. And it is almost necessary to pick up this first combat pack, and I guess the second combat pack as it comes out, because the guest characters are so incredible. But whether it's the daily towers and the daily challenges, the faction fights, or any of that stuff, Mortal Kombat X has earned a place permanently on my PlayStation 4 hard drive. I cannot erase it. I go back and play it a couple of times a week, and of course, I'm still terrible at it, and I can't compete online to save my life. This game simply will not get out of my head.
Number 7 will take you to heaven.
There's so many bad things I can say about Halo 5, and I'm going to. I found the campaign almost utterly disinteresting. I felt that the marketing they used to advertise this game was misleading at best, and I feel that microtransactions have no place in Halo multiplayer. However, I can't stop playing this game. I cannot stop playing it. I play 1 or 2 matches every single day. Sometimes on my free days, I will play 10 or 15 matches in a row. I love the Warzone, but I especially love the arena stuff because the microtransactions simply do not factor into arena whatsoever other than cosmetics. And the arena is constantly changing. On weekends, there's new stuff, there's new modes, they just added big maps, soon they're adding Forge, and all of the stuff that they are adding is free because of the microtransactions that other people are paying for in Warzone. I love this game. Even the ranking system allows a player who's scrubby like me to get matched against other scrubs. Everything about this game is right when it comes to multiplayer, and I adore the living shit out of it.
Why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7 was Master Chief, and that guy fights aliens and doesn't afraid of anything.
There's so very little left to say about Rocket League, because it's literally soccer with cars. And that concept shouldn't be as fun as it is. And when I play this game, I'm so terrible at it that I only ever do things by accident. But it is so exhilarating when I do those things by accident. I loved playing this game. I loved the fact that I got it free with PlayStation Plus. I loved it so much that I bought it to get on PC so that I could play it with people as I stream and play with subscribers and people who watch me there. I love this game. I even love watching this game, and I'm a guy who doesn't get into esports, but when people who are really good at this game play each other, it is beautiful. I love the fact that this game, to me, came out of nowhere, but it had been in the works for years and years and years, and it shows what a small indie developer can do, and they knocked it out of the park.
Number 5. I played this one. This is pretty good.
I have always been a big fan of city simulation games. One of my favorites being on the SNES, that version of SimCity. God, I loved that game. However, as an adult, I ultimately became disenfranchised because they often became unfun and uncomplicated, leaning way too much on the simulation part to allow me to have the kind of fun that I wanted to have. And when SimCity got released by EA, I thought, this is it. I'm done. I'm never playing another city simulator again. I'm completely out of this. City Skylines came along and changed all of that. This game was not only fun for me to play, but my fans really enjoyed watching it on Twitch as well. On top of that, it had the right amount of simplicity and complexity where any player can be interested in it. It was just damn fun to play. It was well built, and the fact that it was built again by a small indie company that made a game that was infinitely better than EA had made just 2 years before it, that alone gives it reason to be on this list.
Number 4. Are you a kid now? Are you a squid now?
The question you have to ask yourself is whether or not you're a kid or if you're a squid. And I'll tell you something, you're both if you're playing Splatoon. And obviously this was going to be on the list because I'm a huge Nintendo fan and I love the games that they create. And this was such a weird game. Not only is the concept of the game weird, trying to paint an arena with paint rollers while you yourself are a kid and a squid, trying to drown each other in your ink, and doing all of this in some weird stylized post-apocalyptic octopus squid related Tokyo. But the game was really weird for Nintendo because they really just don't make online shooters like this. They had to reinvent the genre, and I'm damn glad they did because this is one of the most fun games of the year. Not only that, but they keep piling on the free DLC, and that alone is going to make me love your game.
Number 3. And I'm going to tell you right now, I completely disagree with this one.
Fallout 4 is by far not a perfect game. Not only does it have the issues that always come with a large Bethesda game in this engine, but they made some really weird design choices that really turned me off as well as many other players. However, I have now put 70 hours into Fallout 4, and it simply will not stop giving me cool stuff to do. Not only that, but since I'm playing it on PC, I have access to console commands, which allow me to do all kinds of crazy, freaky stuff. It is a great game to play, it's a great game to stream, it's a great game to watch. And the fact that I feel so compelled to play it, and also compelled to complain about the things I don't like about it, shows you how incredible this game is. Is it well built? No. Is it derivative of Fallout 3? Yes. Does it have its issues? Yes. But is it fun as hell? Absolutely. As far as bang for the buck goes, this game wins it hands down. I played 70 hours in this game, and I probably have another 70 to go, and I'm enjoying every second of it. If this kind of game appeals to you, it's easily one of the best. The problems kept it from being number 1 on the list, though.
Number 2.
I stood up and applauded because this is exactly a concept for a game I have dreamt about ever since I was a kid. Not only is the concept of this game perfect, but the execution is pretty much perfect as well. You got a huge variety of tools to use, it's very intuitive, it's fun to create, it's even more fun to play, it's easy to share your maps, you can play it as a party game in your house, you can share your maps online and play other people's maps. They're rated online by challenge, by likability, by popularity. There are creators that you can follow. Everything about this game is executed perfectly. The only thing that kept it from being high on this list is what is there ultimately is a fairly small package, and they need to add to that package to make it even more robust.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the number 1 game of the year according to Boogie's dumbass.
Now, you probably saw this coming from a mile away, and it's understandable if you did, but Witcher 3 is quite obviously my game of the year, and we're going to talk extensively about it. Are there things about The Witcher 3 I don't like? Absolutely. I did not care for the crafting system. I did not care for having to constantly repair my stupid swords. I didn't like the way the horse worked. I hated the fact that the PC graphics were a little buggy when it came out. I did not care for a lot of the combat and the way that it played. There were definitely things about this game I did not love and I just put up with. However, the storyline for this game is amazing and disturbing and creepy and enthralling and fucking weird. It's weird. The world is ridiculously massive, and there's so much stuff to discover in between plot points and character points and stuff that you have to do. There are so many side quests, and even those side quests and the main story quest can be played again, getting completely different results, going down completely different branches. Man, is the story to this game complex and beautiful and can be told several different ways. And the detailing of the world is brilliant. There is so much detail, there's so much stuff to find. I swear everything that's placed in that game was placed there on purpose with a reason. And they even added like little sub-games like Gwent. I love Gwent. I love to play Gwent. I love collecting Gwent cards. I love the card game in Final Fantasy VIII. Of course, I'm going to love the card game here. You give me a sub-game like that, I'm going to play the hell out of it. Then, if you look at the way they chose to monetize this game, yes, there is a Season Pass, but that Season Pass is so robust, you get more gameplay in that DLC than many people offer in their standalone versions of games. Graphically, the game is beautiful. And they were not afraid to make the PC version look even better than the console versions. And that's something you won't get a lot of companies willing to do anymore, but they absolutely did it. And let's talk about the company in general, by the way, because these are people that are not afraid to put adult themes in their video games and just put some really shockingly weird shit in their video game. Not only that, they gave away 15 free pieces of DLC to people who bought the game. On top of that, they made the game DRM free on PC, and they even posted a thank you letter to people who chose to download it from the Pirate Bay. This is one of the best damn companies making video games in history, much less today. And that's it. That's my list. That's the top 15 games that I both played and liked this year. What games did I miss? What games were not on the list? Let me know in the comments section below. Let me know if you agree with the positions on the list, what I got right and what I got wrong. At the end of the day, this is only my opinion, and your opinion is just as valid, and I can't wait to hear it. Guys, thank you for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.